Emory-Outdoors here, and this is my kind of my canoe camping cooking kit, and it's a little larger. I tried to keep it lightweight, and we'll get into it. So there's a couple things that I almost always have with me when I go camping. I have a little lighter. I like these Zippo lighters with the butane inserts, and the awesome thing about these is the butane doesn't leak out. So if you have the ones that take the fluid, you need to fill them before each trip. And if you're going for more than a couple days, you might need to take some fluid. So it's just a Zippo insert. You fill it with butane, and then it works just like the regular lighter. And the other thing I generally have is my multi-tool. This is a Leatherman Free P2, and it's a great little knife. It's got tools on it. The knife blade is really sharp. And the other cool thing that I use a lot is the scissors. So I probably use the scissors the most on this tool, but having a pair of pliers, wire cutters, that kind of thing is always nice to have. And then I've got, you know, some screwdriver bits. It's got a flat and a Phillips and a couple other tools, but it's a great thing. And then the other thing I carry, I've got this Olight flashlight. And this thing's bright as can be. It's got a laser pointer, which is kind of fun. I use that at work sometimes. And then it's also got a UV light on it. Don't use that so much, but it's kind of cool to have. So getting into the kit, as I mentioned in the last video, there's a couple of things that I will carry. I move from kit to kit. Got my Granfors Brooks axe, small hatchet. That's a really nice piece of kit. I love that thing. I've got my little saw, Baco Laplander. Everybody's using the silky ones now, but I've had this one for a while. It works, so I can't see spending money to get a new saw. And then I've got the Thermacell mosquito thing, and these things really work. I've got some of the little inserts and the cylinder things in a Ziploc bag in my Yeti GoBox, and this is the 30-liter size. This is a great box. So I'll move these from kit to kit as I need them. So let's get into cooking. So I've got two main ways that I cook. I love the Firebox products, and this is the titanium version, and it's their little hex pot, and it gives you a much bigger cooking surface. And I'll do a video on this, but I really enjoy this. And if you haven't checked out the Firebox YouTube channel, you're in for a treat. He's got a lot of really good videos. Recently, for this season coming up, they make a little bake set that you can put on the Firebox, and you can actually bake biscuits and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this. And this uses twigs, but you can also, and I've got the Firebox square pot, but you can also use a gas cylinder. So this screws onto the little cylinder. You mount this in the Firebox, and then you've got gas. Cooking with gas. And it's got a little diffuser plate that you sit on top of there, and it diffuses the flame. So you don't get hot spots if you're trying to fry something in the pan. This thing works great, by the way. And I just keep it in my my little pot. So the other way that I cook is I've got a jet boil. Oops. Jet boil mini mo pot. The cool thing about this is so this mounts on a little cylinder, and I've actually got two different size cylinders. This one's kind of running low. This one is full. I haven't opened it yet. They make a leg set, and that snaps on, and that gives you a wide base, so this thing is really stable. And you put the pot on. This boils water really fast. It's got a lid with a strainer, or you can drink out of it, I guess. But it boils water really fast. And then the nice thing is I've got this attachment, and you fold these legs out. That drops on, and it kind of locks in place. So I've got a 8-inch little fry pan from Firebox. Sits right on there. Got a pot lifter. So I can lift the hot pot. I've got two plates that I kind of use. I've got a real shallow one, and then I've got a deeper pie pan, and I'll use those as lids. And they're great. And they nest. And then I've got a little cutting board that comes with it. And I've also got the ceramic little pizza stone thing. Use that for baking. Cool thing is I can use this burner and I can cook with gas. So yeah, I've got two options. So if I need to cook two things at once, I can fire up both the Firebox and the Jetboil. I can cook two things at once, or I've got the option of either using the gas, or I can use the Firebox as a twig stove. And these just rotate in. These rotate as well. Does fit in the lid, so it's locked in. It's harder to lose. Not impossible, but harder. So the pot for the Jetboil has this little flex ring, and that makes it cook faster. But you do need to protect that. So they've got this little cup thing that just locks on. And it's a pretty small footprint. So while we're talking about fire, I've got this little pocket bellows. This thing extends, and then you can blow through it, and you don't have your face down in the fire or getting the smoke, so it gives you a little bit of room. And these things are really cool. So I already talked about the frying pan and the plate and the deeper plate. I'll use those as lids. That brings me to my kind of silverware collection. So I got forks and spoons and knives. And then I also kind of carry this little UCO spork or spoon, a knife, and a fork, just to kind of have. And then I carry a little serrated knife. I just picked this up at the grocery store, and it's really sharp. It cuts great. And it's got a little guard on it so you don't cut anything in your pack. And then I've got this Gerber set, and this is a pretty cool little setup. It's a spork, a spoon. This is a can opener, bottle opener, little vegetable peeler, which, I'm sure works. And then a little spatula. But the trick with this is you take the spork and you put it in like that, and you have a set of tongs that you can cook with. So the first time I used it, I cut a little chunk out, which was unfortunate. It still works, but it was a shame, because it was the very, very first time I used it. but this set nests as well. That stuff just locks in. And it gives it a pretty small footprint, and it's lightweight aluminum, so this thing weighs, you know, almost nothing. And I do have a set of tongs, but I generally use the Gerber set. When we're talking about cooking, I've got the little Firebox windscreen. So generally what I tend to do is I'll use the box. If I have a picnic table or something, I'll use the box, and then I'll set up the windscreen, and that gives me an area out, you know, that I can block more wind. If it's really windy, then I'll put this around the stove to protect it. I've got the little GSI set of seasoning, and it looks like I need more seasoning in there, but I've got Slappy Mama, I've got salt and pepper, and I think this is garlic salt. Write on there what it is, but it'll hold 6 different seasonings, so that's kind of a cool little thing, and they're all connected. And let's see, this one doesn't have anything in it, so I'm not going to make a mess. But it's got a you know, little perforated lid so you can shake stuff out. And they seal real well, so I don't have to worry about, you know, my salt I haven't used in a couple months, and it's still loose. It hasn't, you know, hardened into a big thick lump. I carry a little bit of sugar because I like to make tea. So I'll take some tea bags just in a Ziploc bag, and then I've got 2 cups. Stuff nests. Usually I'll put my tea bags in there, so that's nested. I'll generally take one of these microfiber towels, and I can kind of use that for padding. I can use it to dry dishes, and I take a little scrubby pad in a Ziploc bag, and then I've got some camp suds. And again, I put that in a Ziploc bag just so in case there's a leak. I don't think I've ever had one of these leak, but it's in a Ziploc bag, so trying to prevent that from ever happening. In the winter, I'll take just some cocoa. I don't drink coffee, but I love hot chocolate. I also take some wipes, and you can use these to clean up, and then I can actually burn them in the Firebox, or I can put them in a bag and carry them out with me. And aluminum foil, because you never know when you're going to need that. It's very useful. And then I carry really 2 lights with me. I've got this little black diamond light, which I think I took the batteries out of last season, but this is a cool little light. You can hang it up, you can set it down, it gives a nice light. And then I've got this flashlight, and this thing is bright as can be. and it's got 2 settings. And then you can also use right off the point of this if you need to point at something, but generally I use it like that. It's got a magnetic base. Anything here that was metal, ferrous metal. Anyway, that's a cool little light. Now this thing is not waterproof, so you know, I keep it in the box to be careful with it. I believe it is everything. So I'm going to pack this stuff up. Show you how it all fits in the box. Slide the box here. Oh, and I will take my candle lantern. I love these things, and I showed you that in the last video. Right, so that's loaded. There's plenty of room in there for more stuff, you know, but I generally try not to put too much stuff in, because then it starts getting really heavy. Got my first aid kit. I've got mosquito stuff, and I've got trash bags and some Ziploc bags in this big pouch. And this is some matches and just general stuff. And that closes up. And then I put a little tether on it, and I'll clip it onto the boat, and that way if I have a capsize, I'm not trying to track down all my gear. It'll be floating outside the boat. You know, so once I get in the boat, I can bail the water out, and then I can, you know, kind of start pulling my stuff back into the boat. So on my coffee page, I'll have a link below. I've got a list of my camping gear. It's a free download. Still got calendars available. 2026 calendars. The link will be below. and that's on my Etsy page. And I've also got stickers on my Etsy page, so check those out. If you've got some gear that you really enjoy using when you go camping, put it in the link below, you know, because I'm always interested in new gear. That's a real fun thing to do. Obviously, I love using this stuff out, but I like to look through it occasionally and, you know, sort it, and, you know, I'll buy new pieces of gear, or, you know, trade out old pieces of gear. But it's always a lot of fun. Thanks for watching.